G'day and welcome to the Off 10 podcast. Don here with you. Our guest today is Roman Cyganov, CEO and founder of Antix. Antix on-chain identity is secured by soulbound tokens and ZK proofs, or ZK proofs if you're from everywhere else in the world, which verifies authenticity, ownership, and most important, consent for use. In Antix world, your digital human isn't a copy of you, it's an extension of you, protected by design and anchored to you alone. It's super interesting, you're gonna love it. We're really excited to talk with Roman about the next big tech crisis of trust, why we need to build the programmable consent layer into AI, and protect ourselves from fraud and image likeness exploitation. We'll also take a deep philosophical dive into the future of artificial intelligence. Super interesting chat with Roman. Let's dive in. Tell us, what is your origin story and what was the inspiration for Antix?
Yeah. So first of all, I started my career like an artist in the past. When I won different nomination, my works being on the globe, on the Times Square in New York, in Tokyo, in Beijing, in everywhere to the big screens. And from this point of view, I organized my first startup when we worked with entertainment segments, when we are developed the content for TV shows, films, and games. And right after that, I organized Antix. And Antix being established also based on the big contracts with HBO, Warner Brothers, and Tencent for content creation for this area and titles, what we have developed, one of the subcontractor. But initial idea why I organized Antix, not about to collaborate with big brands. This is a good I would say portfolio impact, but end of the days, we have vision what exactly entertainment should looks like. This is where we're targeting on, and this is how Antix has been existed from digital humans first, and second from real-time generated content for OTT platforms and for any social medias. And this is what exactly we already developed. Our platform is live. And this is really big inspiration where you can deliver to the people exact content, what they would like to see based on their narrative, data, and interests first. And second, where you can decrease time consuming from your life with digital twins for content creation first, and second for interaction between people, where you can use your digital identity for communication between people in the clouds. And then this is providing for you as mistakes in your life, because these digital twins can communicate with each other and completely understand what is wrong and what is correct for you, for the persona, right? Which is really helpful for your lifetime journey, I would say. So, and this is, I would say, complex visionary package, which is targeting for strategic goals, but also we're moving to be successful in tactical movements, because when we just came to industry with idea of digital identity and digital twins, everyone around us just asked, digital what's for what are the reason, what is the utility of that? Yeah. But for me, it's been clear, really clear why it should be there. So,
man, if I even just cast my mind back 5 years, this kind of stuff you're talking about would be the stuff of science fiction movies, really. And here we are genuinely 5 years later, and you're doing it. Tell me, what do you mean when you say real-time generated content? What does that mean?
Yeah. First of all, I would like to say about the time frame, because first idea about digital twins became to me in 2013, which is a decade back, I would say, or more already. When I just recognized where we are moving forward with technology, but technology not been ready yet. And we spent almost a year to develop our first digital twin based on previous technology, etc. So, and now we are speaking about real-time content. What does it mean? That means, first of all, you can generate yourself based on one image of yours on the platform. And together with AI agents who is tracking trends in social media like TikTok, Instagram, Pinterest, these AI agents recommending you what are the hot topic right now in internet, what exactly you should use for your audience. And this is like content generated on the fly, I would say, really fast. And we are targeting to generate these things in real time. What does that mean? You have no lag and a delay between your requests and the final contents. That's like real time for us. Yeah, that's, for example, if you will go to our next generation of the platform. It's not ready yet, but this is what we are targeting on. Like, let's imagine like Netflix with content which is fully aligned with your ideas, with your dreams, with your interests and tastes. And we're recommending you like and generating for you specifically exact TV show what will be fully resonate with your soul and your like imagination, I would say. And this is for now also looks like scientific things, like so futuristic. But this is like our one of the goal with technology. And previous one we already achieved with digital twins. So this is what I mean when I'm saying about real-time contents.
These kinds of things that you're talking about really opens a bit of a Pandora's box in terms of there's a lot there in terms of ethics and morality, and if I can make a digital twin of myself, somebody else could make a digital twin of myself. How are you thinking through the kind of this, not just photorealism, but maybe, if not now, very, very soon, and indistinguishable from me or from you? How does that kind of AI coexist with respect and transparency? And what kind of levels of compliance are required in building something like that?
Yeah, that's really important topic. This is why we are switched from Web 2 industry to the Web 3. Not switched, I would say integrated, both of them. Because to verify your identity, you definitely have to have some technology behind of that, and open, I would say, field to highlight this is real person behind of these contents, included images, voice, or text or video itself. So that's why our idea is where you are creating like contents, all of the piece of the content have special ID, included images under your name, where you have to choose you are going with KYC process or without, to verify for others this is a real person behind these contents. Second, what we are building, build it already, where others get paid by using your identity, if you're allowed to use your identity.
Right.
This is exactly what's happened with music, I would say. For example, for now, music industry is really like developed with IPs, like and regulations, where if you're using some music in social media, you like constantly and immediately going to be tracked, right?
Mm-hmm.
And streams and distributors will get paid by that, but based on views, like numbers. I truly believe like digital identity for the like regular people should be the same. When you can allow to use your identity for special boundaries and restrictions, I would say I'm allowed to speak about this and that topic. If someone will try like use outside of these boundaries your identity, they will get restrictions from this type of content. They will, it will not happen, I would say. And in this case, if you're allowed to do that, others need to pay for your identity to use it for ads or for commercials or for UGC contents. And they can post it in social media, where you definitely can see all of the distributing channels with yourself. And you are getting paid by that. But this is like, should be a new version of internet tracking or like identity tracking. And this is exactly what we are building for now. Like based on our layer of content creation and second layer of marketplace and social media, where you can put this identity and others can see content with this identity and also can rent this identity for special like payments, I would say.
So you're saying that, say in the music industry, if I post a video on social media and it has somebody's digital footprint of their song or of their art, then, it might get a cease and desist, or they might get taken down automatically because the trackers are looking for that identity. You're saying that if someone made a video with your likeness in it and posted it somewhere, likewise, we could track that and say, hey, this is not sanctioned, or this is not allowed, or you have to pay if you want to continue to do this. Is that what you're talking about?
That's correct. Let's say someone produced content with yourself and put it to to Instagram. Immediately, they will get track. Like, okay, the system going to verify what are the person behind of this content, which face used for this content, and distributor will have notification about that automatically. And this is really a good sign. For what reason? Like, first of all, for now, we see a lot of content already generated with AI, right? But 42% of the people from social media are afraid of AI-generated contents because you still cannot see this real content or not, this like deep fake or not, right? And when this problem going to be solved, this is what we are like worked before, then we are opening a new door where people will not afraid of this type of content at all, because no reason. You already see fully, like, okay, this is like some real content and this is not, right? This is like providing us more regulations, more security, I would say privacy as well, because otherwise, if you will not allow to use your identity and someone will try to, retweets or reposts or create content with yourself, immediately this content is going to be banned. The same what's happening with music. Like, this music not available, right? And this like person not available in this region, I would say. This is exactly what's have to happen with digital identity.
Yeah, it sounds amazing. I mean, even in recent months with Sora 2 coming out, and for me, it's like the risk is that not that just some people will be fooled, with an eagle picking up a baby or a dog doing a backflip or something like this, but the people will actually. So my concern isn't that people will be fooled by that. My concern is people will stop believing anything that they see when they see that online. That trust totally evaporates. And, seeing used to be believing, in a sense at least, whereas these days, especially in the last maybe month or two, and certainly since Sora 2 has, proliferated, man, I just see trust going down the gurgler, even in terms of what you see. Even legitimate videos now, people can just say, AI, no need to concern yourself with this content. That's just AI. And what happens when that content is very important? Or what happens when someone, does something or says something or wants to do something that is of importance and does need to be seen, and we need to be able to trust the veracity of what we're seeing? How are we going to deal with this kind of new way of consuming information?
Do you know, this is like things, first of all, this always happened with humanities historically, where like some automatical system or mechanisms is more developed than human, right?
And we are, yeah.
And the same happening right now with the content creation, because we are thought the last islands for AI itself. This like art industry, music, like arts, painting, drawing, etc. But this is not. This is actually the first, I would say, industry which is like gets a problem, I would say, because AI just switched real people so fast, and the content from AI already so developed, and the quality is insane, and you cannot compare with AI contents based on the speed and quality itself. So, and honestly, I don't see the problem in this case. We just need to adopt the reality, like new reality, and to find a new way to implement it to our life. Because right now we're faced with two problems, in my opinion. First problem, we're afraid of AI, right? When we're speaking publicly or with someone. On the other hand, we're speaking with our chatty, like for sensitive contents. I know a lot of people who do that.
Sure.
Yeah, and like that's the problem, because if you wanted to be like on the leading position on the markets, and if you are not listening AI for now, you're losing or you're not winner, right? Because AI have more like data than us. AI have already pumping up the like technological process and providing better quality like answers faster, etc. And the people who is not following through with this like I would say AI leading is losing. And that's like another problem. End of the day, we're like blindly going to follow with AI recommendation, and in this case, we have to choose what is the better to win right now on the competitive markets, like professional markets or whatever markets, or to be afraid with AI and you will try to stop this machine, which is like impossible for now. Yeah, and we're already like in this, I would say, cave, in this cage, I would say. And how good friend of mine says, let's fix one problem, and this problem will like create another one, and then we will touch second points.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, that's fair. That's fair too. But then, how does it work then? How do we protect ourselves from having our digital identity and likeness or voice stolen, used? You mentioned kind of the meta, that meta look at what it's going to be, but how does it actually work?
Yeah. So first of all, what is important to have one layer of content, I would say, creation and execution, where a system already verified like a protocol or like a standard, I would say, like a standard. And right after that, when you are created content on this standard layer, and you're putting this content outside, like to the social media, others can check this content being produced based on these standards or not. Where system are tracking, first of all, like visuals being changed right after this content being rendered or not. Voice, text, identity, they're like exact what's been produced on this standard or not. If answer is not, you will see like different check-in lists where I would say like visuals, exactly what people developed or person developed. Text is changed in this word and these words. Maybe on image or video, someone put it like new logotype, or maybe change some small details, which is like creating more, I would say, scammy content, right? And the system is tracking all of the small changes in the contents to verify, look, this is real, this is built here, or this and that have been changed right after standards like content have been delivered, right? And this like the case how to control it, where a system are tracking and verifying one by one different pieces of the contents, included voice, text in this voice, like what exactly this voice are talking about, and images and videos itself.
So what I'm imagining that already people in positions of public notoriety, like politicians, for example, or I don't know, movie stars, pop stars, anything like that. These people are being videoed all the time. How are we? I understand if I am going to be putting my likeness out there, and I might even have a digital twin, that I'm happy for my digital twin to do some things and make content, and I have my digital watermark, if you like, or some sort of provenance on Web3 that I have ratified. This is legitimately my content that I'm putting out. Or if I'm making a video, even like a video like this, where I'd say this is legitimately you and I having this conversation, and yet someone might take a video of a politician doing something, I don't know, compromising, for example, which is important for the public to know. And if we are getting to the business of that politician always saying, no, that's not my likeness, that's not me, that is artificial intelligence, I don't give this the stamp. It's giving people on the one hand, a really lovely tool to be able to curate their public persona and public profile. But on the other hand, we, again, fall into the trap of AI distorting our picture of reality or truth. How are we going to deal with that side of the issue?
I would say the day when we'll have a standardization for cameras, for iPhones, Androids, and all of these things with special IDs, where any particular images and videos on the real devices will have special number, to verify this been like recorded here and there. Yeah, and right after you're putting this metadata data to the social media, others can check. Okay, it's been edited, it's been with AI additional, or this like real content from real camera. So that's the case. In the moment when we will get this type of standard verification of the particular contents, we will fix this problem. Maybe not fully, but most of the problem will be fixed. So, for AI content, you also have to choose if you're allowed to use AI content with your identity or not. Because maybe for someone, it's really relevant because it's like creating more hype around, I don't know, some artists, like actors. Maybe for politicians, it's like irrelevance because it's making more damage, right? For reputation, etc. So that's why you have to like be in this system, in this structure, in this standards, and verify what exactly you're allowed with your identity. Like your copy, but in digital space, what you're allowed to do with this digital copy in digital space. So, and this is where we're pushing narrative of the markets. It's not like easy task, and this is work for all of us, but we're doing good, I would say.
So you're talking about verified identity standards and how useful this process and this standard is going to be, or these standards are going to be in preventing misuse of your or my likeness or everyone's likeness. It's going to prevent or it's going to help us to trust the things that we see, to trust news outlets, to trust social media, etc. How are these standards going to be developed? Is this a tech-first approach? Is this you build the platform, show that it works, and people come on board and it proliferates that way? Is this a negotiation amongst big tech? How is this actually going to happen?
The way which we are choosed, this is coming from technology. When you're onboarding people and providing this type of security and privacy for the people, when they're creating content and other can check on the platform if it's real content or not, and also if real person behind this content or not. But other movements is coming to the law of different like countries, regions, and also to United Nations to fix this problem with the deepfakes. We're working on this direction. I cannot say like a lot, but we're like thinking to be a part of it, like frequently. And this is really important because right after technological parts, we have to implement it to the like governments, to different platforms, to other social media who are going to use the same standards, right? Or to be big enough to compare with them, like with narrative, like, look, guys, this like old internet without verification, and this is new verified internet where you can definitely feel more secured, etc. So this is actually narrative what we are choosing for our social media and marketplace with digital identity. We're providing security and like awareness of deepfakes.
Yeah, which is, I mean, phenomenal, man. As I was saying to you before we hit record, it's something that is desperately needed across the digital landscape in the world at the moment. And from my perspective, at least, governments are way, way behind in terms of producing meaningful regulations and legislation for this. Are you finding that, like, are there jurisdictions in the world that you would say are leading the way or that are doing a really good job on this front so far?
I would say Asia is more open for this type of activities. And this is more so, I would say, cultural things included, like maybe some of the things with like narrative of mango and other things, I would say. And in Asia, specifically in Japan, this is like more open. And whereas more, I would say, complicated, for sure, this is like Europe, Eurozone. This like most regulated zone ever. And this is where it's really, really complicated to build it on the like legal layer, I would say. But again, do you know, this is also... Yeah, sorry.
I was just going to say, as an artist for yourself, how are you thinking about, talking about the various, legislation, jurisdictional legislation approaches or legislative approaches to artificial intelligence? How are you feeling about the, copyright infringement, AI data scraping? How can we give permission for or consent to LLMs for our likeness and data and art when they've already got it? And they've already used it.
Yeah.
And it might have been used a million times already. I'm just thinking about, from your background as an artist, but also someone who's working in this, provenance and AI space. How are you thinking about that? And again, are they still trying to play catch up, or is anyone really leading the charge?
Do you know, I do remember the moments of the hype with AI generative content between artists, and they made it fun. I'm like, me is not, because for me it's been clear like a day, like what's going to happen. Why they? Because they've been afraid in the sentence where they're going to be like removed from the markets from AI, right? From AI point of view. And they met like a fun about 6 fingers on the palm when AI just started with content generation. But where we are right now, it's like problem passed away, and this not a problem at all. Some of the content you cannot like believe this is AI generated. This looks so real. This look unbelievably like real. That's why, in my opinion, the best scenario where artists can, or not only artists, also actors or like musicians can create these contents, can share these narratives with AI, and will get paid by that. Like if someone using this art in AI generation or in some publicity, etc. Now it's happening only with music, and I would say with films as well. So there also have really like strict restrictions for everyone who would like to use it in social media. But other industry is so tiny and cannot like compare with these mastodons, I would say. And this is definitely what we have to push to make it more like, I would say, flat with a good way, when everyone have the same regulations based on different industries.
Yeah, man, agreed. In what way are you thinking about the future regarding using your digital twins and likeness combined with the agentic reality of where we're at the moment, and again, the increasing use of agents? You mentioned before about how, you might have a digital twin and I have a digital twin, and those digital twins can go off and have a conversation and do work. And because they can learn about you and and I guess especially if you have created a lot of content in the past, or written a lot or produced a lot, it can get to know you and represent you fairly well. How far away are we from having not an agent like secretary or virtual assistant, but someone indistinguishable from me representing me or indistinguishable from you. How do I even know, for example, that I'm interviewing the real you now and not your AI digital twin agent?
Yeah, that's actually a good question. And the answer, I would say, right on the table, because we're already here. If you will ask ChatGPT or whatever LLM you're using for now, can you provide me like a feedback about myself, about my personality? Who am I? You'll be in shock how detailed and accurate answer going to be.
Yeah.
What that means? Like AI is analyzing already what are the type of requests, how you are formulating your texts, what are the like requests you are doing with AI, etc. And this is already a part of training models where you already have your identity. You and I just using it for different purpose and for different utilities, but still is already here. But we're not integrated yet to our like life automatically, right? We still need to interact with AI to get something done.
Mhm.
So, but what I'm talking about, where we will switch to next topic, and this topic going to happen next I would say 1-3 years already. It's really not so far away, where our identity going to talk with each other. But again, for us, it is like discussion, like a dinner. For them, there's like milliseconds to understand.
Mhm.
Yeah, and you will just know exactly what you have to do based on your like characteristics, like a personality, based on your interest and goals in the life. And they will recommend you like, look, I saw for you these events will be quite beneficial because of this and that. Or this person is really will match with you because you have like fundamental match on personal layer and also for the business or I don't know for the art. And AI agent going to help us with all of this like outside narratives and our next steps. But then we are facing with another problem, which I already mentioned. We have to follow blindly with this recommendation to be successful. And this like a moral question, like, do we ready for that when we have less, adventure in the life, and when we will create less amount of decisions by ourselves, and we will get all of this recommendation from someone. It's already built it like a new, I would say, type of human who is like just following through with the recommendation blindly. And this is why it's like good and bad, this like two sides of the coin, I would say.
Yeah, man, even just looking at the early studies out of MIT and Stanford, for example, about how people's brains change when they're using LLMs at the most like basic and rudimentary forms of AI basically that they have access to, and yet the way their brains operate changes. So I actually am a little concerned, not in the same way that many people are with AI. I'm not worried about super intelligence kind of taking over the world and subjugating humans and that kind of stuff. But I am worried about what does it meaningfully mean to be a human, and in what ways is that being challenged, and in what ways is that like is this just another tool, and we are the best species at using tools and adapting our environment to us and using tools to do so, and is this just another tool, or is this something more evolutionary? And so I'm concerned that we lose something about being human. Like, even you look back to things like the Jetsons, where they had the AI maid. This was kind of 50 years ago, their idea of the future, and the maid would do a lot of the mundane things around the house, for example, and that would leave them up to the more creative tasks. But it ended up doing things like raising their kids, which I think is one of the kind of core things for us to do as humans. But even those mundane tasks, they're human as well. And if we're delegating or outsourcing even creativity, that's kind of meaningfully human too. And so is this, are you seeing this as evolutionary, or are there any kind of moral lines of meaning that you don't want to cross over? Or are you just thinking, let's do whatever we can and then we'll see how we go, iterate?
Honestly, I'm not thinking this way. Like we're just need to blindly follow through with all of this happening things. And I do think this is like a new generation of intelligence is coming, because what's happened, for example, we are like biological organisms, right? We already reached our limits, I would say, or we are too lost with that. And the speedness to have the next circle of evolution is so long. It's taken so many time. And we are like intelligent biological organisms, build it, not yet, but we are close with that. We're building like a new type of brain, or we are building a new type of brain, which is evolutionary, will like go into rockets if we will compare ourselves and this type of intelligence.
Sure.
From universe point of view, this is a good thing, because we are helping, I would say, we are from a universal point, from universe point of view, this is big help. Why? Because big intellects can help for universe, like with multiple directions, right? How to utilize energy, how to like make it better, how we can understand the like matrix of universe. Like I meant to say matrix with how universe actually built it, like about quantum like things and all this like stuff inside, and with our like capability and capacity, this is so long and so unproductive. This is why from this point of view, I think this really, really great. But we are still humanity, right? We are still humans, and we are really care what's going to happen with us, like with biological organisms. Yeah, because it looks like we are builded the same gap what we have between animals and human. Like animals cannot understand what human are doing, right? Sure. Like it's untouchable. The same going to be for us. Human will not understand what AI are doing and what is the purpose of that. That's why this is scared part, I would say, for humanity itself. But we can fix it if we will pass with the sentence to allocate our identity, physical identity, to virtual space. But again, this is like something what can scare people, because you are like outside of your body. There's like different like process of thinking, of understanding the value of the life, etc. There's like a new philosophical things for discussion, right? But I do believe this is positive things in the like from global point of view, right? From humanity, not so.
Yeah, because I wonder, even you were saying before about each individual person will be able to have in real time content created for them, which will hit exactly all of the things that they like. And I just wonder how much of that is making, on the one hand, I find that exciting. I think, man, if I had a computer game that had all the elements that I like, or a TV show that had all the elements that I like, on the one hand, I'm like, this would be amazing. But I think it'd be amazing for a little while, because part of the reason that I enjoy stories is because of the shared experience with other humans. And so again, I don't want to just keep chasing that philosophical rabbit trail there, but I'm just wondering, like, you know, if we become more discretely compartmentalized or atomized from other humans in ways that entertains us more and more, I'm concerned that that's not actually really helpful for us or for humanity. And even the proverbial uploading your consciousness, that for me again seems even more atomistic and abstracted from other humans, and even just in the natural, like in the biological, we see people who are abstracted from other humans have the worst mental health and the worst lives and the worst sense of purpose. And so again, on the one hand, I go, oh, that actually sounds really amazing and wonderful. On the other hand, I go, oh man, what's the seatbelt to that future? And is there an eject button if we find out that this actually sucks?
Do you know, this is really like interesting point in general, because like capitalism itself like builded these things, right? Because of capitalism, we have this, I would say, AI technology and all of this like stuff.
Sure.
But end of the day, when AI will like shift a lot of industries, it's already happened, right? And this is like constantly happening still. On the other sides, we will face with the same problem from robots, because AI is like a brain which we are going to allocate, and already happening, right, to the robots, which are going to do all of these things what humans are doing in physical worlds. And then we're facing with the main question. Before that, we've been existed like humanity to struggle, right? All of our life, humanity is struggling with wars, with like misunderstanding, all of these things. And can you imagine when humanity will no struggle anymore, no needs? It's already like everything's fixed based on like food-wise. I mean to say like everyone is fully
Sure.
like have foods, right? Have energy enough to do that. And you'll have a full freedom. But full freedom in what sense? To do something what you really want in boundaries which like Earth and like globalism is allowed you to do, right? And other things we're going to cover by robots and AI. So, and this is another philosophical things, what we are going to do. If art is already get it by AI, if like work on the factories get it by AI, if all of these things humanity no need anymore, what is our like life here?
Mhm.
Why we are here? Why we're existed? And this is like a good thing, in my opinion, because then humanity will have more time for like understanding itself, like in general, why we are like existed. This really like romantic, I would say, but otherwise, what else we can do in this case?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I actually find your analogy with capitalism helpful, because capitalism comes in and lifts entire continents out of poverty and hundreds of billions of people out of poverty in really amazing ways, and also makes humans more individualistic. And then those humans have to then self-select into community. And if life gets easier and the struggle for food goes away, you don't have to go hunting, you don't have to go gathering, you don't have to wrestle with nature at an individual level. At a human level, maybe we still do, but at an individual level, we don't. That's where people, they go and then they run marathons, or they go to the gym, or they go and create meaningful struggle. Okay, you might be convincing me actually. All right, so that's actually a really good argument, I think, because you're right. We still have agency as humans to be able to interact with technology as we like, and then interact with other humans as we like. We just have to, maybe so long as the enticement to that individualism isn't so strong that it becomes like a drug that we need more and more of and become dependent on, we can still self-select into those things that give us, that are meaningfully purposeful. All right, that's actually really helpful, I think, the way that you've the way that you phrase that there. That's good. Where do you think we're going? There's like you've given a kind of a vision for the future. What do you think this is the actual road we're on, or is this just is this optimistic, or is this inevitable?
My opinion, first of all, we are going to exact direction where like we will switch ourselves physically with robots and for a lot of work based on AI, first of all. Second of all, we can stop it if we want, only with really immediate regulations. Just we need to stop all of us to develop AI. We need to fix concerns, and only after that continue all of these things, which honestly not gonna happen. Because also during the I would say diversity of the world with different countries, politics and all of these things, someone will try to trick the system, right? To be first and to dominate in the globe. So it's always happening. This is why humanity unpredictable. And we are targeting for this direction, for more stable, I would say, direction, because if we will have something above of human, which is for sure, we can conserve with the concept of God, and I am not touching these points because it's separate discussion. But next level of developments with AI and robots definitely can control humanity. The problem is we cannot understand what exactly the main goal of that behind of this artificial brain going to be, because we cannot program it. We can try, but it can be uncontrollable for us. But it's really something necessary to have. For what reason, and why I really like one of the idea of Elon, for example, to diversify humanity for different planets, because then we have less risks to die, humanity itself, right? Because we have different planets to still survive, biological organisms, right? But for that, to make this colonies is really fast, we have to have robots, which is intelligence robots, to control on the new planets without needs of air and all of this biological things. So this is why we're definitely moving to this direction, no matter what, I would say. And my opinion, this is good, because end of the day, we definitely help in universe to be more developed and to make more right movements for universe, not for the humans.
Interesting. Okay, so you would be. I remember hearing about one of the Google co-founders, Sergey, talking about how one of his famous slights against Elon was that he was a speciesist. Yeah, that he was preferring. He had a preferential affection for humans and not for progress. I thought, man, that is a wild accusation that, again, you wouldn't expect someone to make even maybe 30 years ago, 50 years ago. Maybe these kinds of, it wasn't on the table. It wasn't even a consideration that we might be a multi-planetary species and that it would be AI, agentic robots going actually doing that either on our behalf or as another iteration of humanity or an effect of humanity. Do you have a time frame on that?
I do.
What do you think?
My opinion, it's going to happen next 10, 15 years in total. But the problem is, can you imagine right now our diversification between different nationalities, countries, also how it looks like based on evolution. When we just been existed in Africa, then we're just moved in different regions, right? And our also visual changed, correct? Can you imagine what's going to happen when humanity going to be interplanets, we'll going to be on different planets? And what are the differentiation going to be between these colonies? It's ridiculously big, from mental point of view, from I don't know, multiple things, right? And this is also one of the parts to have, I would say, more laboratories for humanity itself, to have more sub-biological organisms, I would say. On the Earth, it's going to be one. On the Mars, another one. On the Moon, third one, right? Based on the multiple things, based on like gravitation, like environment, and all of these things will affect you like a human. And one of the facts from the space, when people or person in the space and seeing the Earth, it's really making big damage of the mindsets, because you are not a part of something when you've been existed. This is like so far away from you. You feel big aloneness. Like I read a big article about that, like what exactly people are feeling during this like trip, and this is something really insane. And we don't know what's going to happen when we are just staying on another planet, which is like fully empty. You have no like option to get back, and you need to survive and build it something really big, right? Actually, this is, I would say, approximately what's happened with America, right? When Columbus just came, it's also been like a new, I would say, planets in this like era. But we're not on the Mars yet. We're going to be there, my opinion, like next 10, 15 years. Maybe not Mars, but Moon 100%. Because on the Moon, we already like been multiple times, like humanity. And just this is next logical movements from our sides.
Yeah. In terms of, if we can kind of rewind back to today and thinking about how we are currently interacting with AI, can you give us the best case outcome for building a better digital identity for humans now? What does that preferred future look like?
First of all, the identity where you have full prints of your persona, includes all of the different like things, your like mindsets, your structure of the brain, your thoughts, and all of these things. Like I would say full prints, right? For what purpose? What the utility of that? Then we can also allocate this data for health industry to build special, like I would say, medicine to fix the problem with cancer and all of this like problem. Maybe to build like something closer with immortal, to be immortal like humanity itself as well. So, but that's something really dangerous in the case where people are not allowed to provide this data and to play around this, right? On the one hand, we would like to live more and longer, but on the other side, we don't want it to like allocate our data because it's so like us, it's so like private, it's so like, it's so like, right? But, and this is like a cancer, which we need to choose in which like I would say parts you're choosing to be with, this or that. My opinion, better to provide data to like help ourselves to be more like developed, like in general humanity, and also to pass away with a sentence of some illness, problem with like mental health and all these things. This one case about like really fundamental thing about humanity, like to find the continuation of the life, right? On the other hand, we have a reality for now. And in this case, exactly what I mentioned before. Entertainment, this is like a fun, to be completely honest, right? This is not something this is not a rocket science.
Sure.
And this is fun, that's cool. We are really like to like spend time on it, right? But what is most important, to use this identity for your regular life, for your life journey, with this type of like prediction of your next movements in your career, or in your like, I don't know, to find love of your life, right? In like constant, like particularly, can you imagine how we will fix this problem when we will have a data about each person, AI agent can find you a wife or a husband, right? Based on the exact match between two of you. And you're just passing away with a problem where you need to struggle with a wrong person around you, correct? And this is also...
So you're thinking you send your digital twin and their digital twin on a 50 dates, see how they go. Is it going to work out in real life? And they'll give you a score.
Yes. But for us, like 50 dates, it looks like a long journey.
Oh, sure.
But for agents, this is like 50 prompts, to be clear, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that's wild.
It is.
What we like to finish the show with each time is, and you may have already done this in the course of the show, is, Roman, would you share with us your most controversial view or contrarian view? No, it doesn't have to be controversial, but most contrarian view, where most people seem to think or believe we're going in one direction or think in one direction. You actually think quite the opposite. Do you have any particularly contrarian views that our listeners and viewers might benefit from?
It also depends whom you are listening for, right? Because some of the group of people saying we're going to have a big trouble with artificial intelligence in general. Other group of people saying artificial intelligence will never switch humanity from this planet. So I would say we definitely need to continue with technology, because this is a big driver in general for humanity. And we just need to be ready for big changes. And big changes, I mean to say, not only from technology point of view, but also from our habits, from our structure, like political structure, health structure, and all of this like fundamental things which we thought this is fundamental, which is already like a sand, coming through of our fingers, and we're just rebuilding all of this like structure of our life already. So I'm just thinking need to continue with to build like robots on the planets, to make humanity, to provide humanity more freedom, and also to continue with AI, because my opinion, AGI, this is a good things in general. And I know a lot of people not agree with that. And this is fully okay. We have space to have different meanings, right? So that's my 2 cents for this sentence.
Yeah, okay, nice. In your view of this inevitable and even best case future, who do you think is best placed to make these decisions? Do you say AGI? I mean, I think back to maybe a decade ago, came out that Facebook wasn't only curating people's news feeds in a way to try to understand how they were thinking, but curating the news feeds in a way to try to direct and not just inform, but direct and cause them to think and behave in particular ways. And they found out, this is 10 years ago, right? Before we were really thinking about, as a general population, artificial intelligence. So 10 years ago, they discovered, we can make people more depressed. We can make people more happy. We can make people think more politically to the right. We can make people think more politically to the left. I think if this is true, and it certainly seems to be true demonstrably, scientifically, and even just conventional wisdom would say this is true, that it's not just nurture, but also nature that helps inform who we are. If we are, as humanity, creating an artificial general or super intelligence that's going to be informing how we live, informing the decisions that we make, who gets to decide how that, can't call it a being, how that intelligence decides? You go back only a year ago and Google was getting into trouble because it was heavily curating its AI, like generative outputs. How can you possibly trust anybody with that kind of power that's not just going to help humanity, but necessarily direct humanity?
First of all, I would like to have a bridge between previous question and this question to be more consistent with my answer. I do think how we can fix the problem with this type of unmeasurable impacts to humanity from AGI only in one case, when we can allocate our, I would say, identity, yourself, not your brain, not your knowledge, but yourself, like persona, to AGI, and to have the same capacity for thinking and all of these movements, to do all of these movements, then it will be more controllable, because it will be part of us, and we will help ourselves from back forwards, right? Like we're building this AGI, then we're implementing this AGI to us. It's also what's OpenAI right now are doing, and Elon doing the same with Neuralink, right? Because it's like really, I would say, on the table. But you cannot say multiple things, I would say, publicly, because people can be scared of it. For example, DeepMinds from Google, they are holding narrative with machine learning a lot of years to avoid any touch on the sentence of intelligence and artificial, because people are scared. But finally, technology the same. This is still machine learning, but we're just repackaged it for new hype, I would say, marketing things, right? So, and also about control, we cannot avoid control at all, because it's already happening based on capitalism, and the capitalism driven based on resources to get more resources, right? And for the one hand, this is a good thing because it's driver for technology, driver for multiple things. But on the another hand, the final goal, it's sometimes not human oriented. It's more resource oriented, right? And to get back to the topic with I don't know, Instagram and Meta, with all of this directional feeds in your socials, for now I would say they are implementing more healthy stuff when you can block your screen right after, I don't know, 45 minutes per day, and they're thinking more with humanity oriented, I would say, impacts.
Yeah, sure.
Again, it's uncontrollable. It's a big game between regulations, governments, private equity, and all of the things. And we never will have the same simple and strict answer, because all of us have different goals. Maybe sometimes it's crossing the lines, but not for all of the points of these lines, unfortunately. But on the other hand, this is so beautiful because we're so diverse.
Yeah, man. Roman, there's heaps more I'd love to talk about. We're out of time to actually delve into today. But last question for you is, what are you most excited about 2026 for Antix?
I'm really excited to have big standardization of technology what we are building. I would say in the case where more people going to use it. For what reason? To make internet more trustworthy, transparent with the contents, and also to launch couple of, I would say, features which we are building on the backend for now, because we already over delivered our roadmap, which we promised a year back to our community, and for now, I would say I'm just waiting when our third version of the platform going to be ready, because I know all of these things what we are building, and it's really insane. I see which type of problem this fixing, how it's fixing, etc. And ideally to make more, I would say, visibility and exposure of these things for the people to make our internet great again.
Awesome. Roman, if someone wants to hear more from you or learn more about Antix, where can they find you online?
That's easy to find us in socials. Antix, our name of our company, on X, on Discord, on Telegram, and also on our websites, included LinkedIn, by the way. So, and our products, which we are launched this month, called is Age, which is AIGE. Also easy to find. This is like AI agents and the platform for content creation and renting your digital identity.
Awesome, man. Thank you so much for joining us today. Really appreciate your time.
Thank you for having me, and thank you for a really deep and interesting conversation.
Thank you for joining us today. We hope you enjoyed this episode of Off-Chain. We love bringing you great guests like Roman and hope we've inspired you to learn more about Web3, about technology, about the future, and how you might be a part of building it. As always, please like, subscribe, or better yet, share this episode with a friend and help us spread the word. And join us again for another exciting episode of Off-Chain next week. Till then, take care.